Right, ladies and gents, bringing it back there. Like I say, I'm building this in between work, and steady progress has been made. Just doing it as and when I can. I've got no agenda or no time frame for doing it. Right, ladies and gents, so just to orientate again, this is the piece of the Bergen that will be towards my back, and that's the inner back side. Like I said before, I left a bit at the top and a bit at the bottom. Right, so what I need to sort out some shoulder straps. The easiest thing would be strip another Bergen down and use them Bergen straps. Nah, if you're going to build it from scratch, do it properly, ladies and gents. So here, as we see, and I'll bring in a little bit more closer to show you detail on this, is one of my shoulder straps, okay? It will be sewn on. I've not decided exactly where yet, but sewn on there like that with a reinforcing strip of 50mm webbing going down the side, and obviously there's going to be another one there at the bottom. Again, I'm in workshop, so I do a few sketches to work out what type of belt I'm going to have, a waist belt. Now I don't know if I want that to be a padded one or just one to stop the Bergen moving while it's on my body. I think it is important, from a lot of experience in the armed forces, to have a Bergen that when you slide or slip, it doesn't go away, or it won't cause you to fall. So even if it's just one that will pull it towards my body, like a 50mm, you know, like some nylon seatbelt material, that would be fine for me. Whether I'm going to do it padded and attach some pouches to it, or I just at this moment don't know. And again, sometimes my brain hurts. So ladies and gents, I've made myself a very nice shoulder strap there. Again, I measured a shoulder strap, and I always find them a bit short for me. You know, that bit there normally goes right under my armpit, whereas I want it down a bit. So all I did was added about another 4 inches. Some 25mm beige webbing previously bought. So the buckles. Now, what I'm going to do, and I love this, a buckle like this can cost you between like 50 and 60 pence, and they want about 40p for these ones, because these are military grade click lock buckles. A wee while ago, it was a wee while ago, boot fair, there was an MTP Bergen, which I'll show you when I next, in a moment, and it didn't have the lid, and the bloke only wanted about £3 for it, so I said, sorry, it's worth that for the buckles. So I found that in the old garage, in the old sort of what I call a gash pile. So I'm going to be using all the beige buckles for it, for this Bergen. So, you know, I'm recycling a Bergen to make a Bergen. I love that. One, because it's cheap as chips, and two, because I get proper military hardware. Right, ladies and gents, so there we go, there's my shoulder strap. So the easiest thing for you to do, I can measure all this, but you take a Bergen that you know and you like, and it fits you, and then you measure the strap, okay? And then obviously leave a bit to sew on, as I've done there, and that's about sort of 2 inches or 50mm. Like I say, it'll be sewed on like that and there. Now when we see this one here, there's a reason for that there, because once that's sewn on, and as you know, I'll sew another 25mm piece of webbing, same stuff as this, and it will have the effect of pulling it backwards. Very hard to sort of explain, but it will become apparent as we go along. Okay, that will be used, a strap to a buckle there to pull that closer to my back. Right, ladies and gents, now to show you how I made a shoulder strap. Again, a strip of the nylon webbing. You decide how wide you want it. I know from, you know, bitter experience, wider is sometimes better than thicker when you want to spread the load, ladies and gents. So I've done that, and there we go on that, ladies and gents. So you see how I've made it up now. What I did was sew it all the way down. Well, actually it would be inside out, sew it upside, so down there, so it's got 2 open ends, push it inside out, and then obviously I've cut a piece of military grade British Army roll mat, which is the best padding I think I can get at this point. So on that, ladies and gents, I've cut a strip, and you'll see there's an area all round the sides that will take up for my seam allowance. So that's how I made it. Put that inside, turned it right the right way, and then as we can see here, 25mm webbing, D-ring, buckle, and that's for me tensioning straps. at the top. Now I had to go through this material an industrial machine, which I do have, and I did treat myself to a little while ago. When I do this one, I'll show you a little bit of how I've made up the shoulder straps, because I think if you're doing this, the shoulder straps can be a little bit of a problem in how you make them, ladies and gents. So next time you see this, the 2 shoulder straps will be done, and I'll have worked out what I'm going to do with me waist belt. But again, just a quick recap: 2 strips of material, that's the outside, sew it together, push it through so it's now looking like that, but sewn down each side, and then I put that in there, tuck it all under, and just sew it back up again. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that hopefully tomorrow when I get on the machine, ladies and gents. Here's just a closer look at the shoulder straps, ladies and gents. That's the bit that will go around to the side of the Bergen. That's the bit on that side that will sew onto the back of the Bergen. 25mm webbing all the way down it, and as you can see, I've sewn round the padding on the inside. For that you'll need some sort of at least semi-industrial machine, because it's the width of the foot that goes up that makes the difference, not really the power of the machine. Right, ladies and gents, bringing it back. It's been a few days, so obviously, like I say, I'm still working. There's my shoulder strap, just a little recap for you. Roll mat inside, and obviously you can see where I've sewed it around. Now last time I had a piece of material like that, and the Bergen material like that. And what I'm going to do is, obviously, I'll take it back round again. You can see that there's a shiny side and the outside, yeah. So you always sew it inside out, and then what you do then is push it through itself so it brings it the right way up, as you can see it there. As you can see, I sewed down both sides all the way down and push it through. Use a little ruler or something just to do the last bit. So now to seat that firmly in there, and what I want to do is make sure, if I can, that the brown material is always on the top, and the mesh, which does grip as well, grip any clothing, is on the bottom. And what I'll now be doing, obviously I've sewed up that up end, so it's just like a tube now with a closed end. It's just going to sew round there and up there, then mark it up for the buckles and the 25mm webbing. And I'll let you show me kind of industrial machine there. And because this is Army foam padding mattress, you probably won't do this on like a Singer home machine or anything like that. But yeah, so this is how I was going to make me shoulder straps, and I'll show you a little bit on the machine. As I've said from the start, nobody needs to sit there for 45 minutes seeing the machine going dig 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 dig, but I'll just give you a little bit of sewing. Alright, like, so I'll bring you back. Right, ladies and gents, there's the open part, okay, and that's the bit that's going to have the buckle on it. So because I want this foam shoved right down there, I'm going to start at the back, pushing it right down as much as I can, the brown side over and underneath the foot of the machine. There we go. And as always, when you start off, you'll do a few stitches coming this way, hit the back button, and it'll go back and just lock the stitch for you. Right, wagons roll. Keeping it roughly the same distance apart all the way along a parallel line, just judging by the centre where the needle is, how far over it is. And I'm thinking that's maybe 4 or 5mm. And again, make sure pulling it all out and round. That's it. Very nice. So just making sure I'm getting right where I need it. I'm going to take it back a few stitches just to lock it. Make sure my needle's down, and as you'll see now, there's almost a lovely little line all the way along that, so I should be able to sew straight down there, ladies and gents. So spend a little time on that one, get your seam exactly where you need it. And again, I'm just going to lift my foot up, turn it round, try and 45-degree angle it. Yes, and we are rocking and we are rolling. And again, if this stitch comes undone, that one won't, because I've backstitched it. So I'll go forward a little bit, then backstitch it, and that effectively has locked that one in. There we go, that's all it takes. And one more. That's it. And again, I'm going to come round. Yeah, that's about it. Drop it down, and as always, a couple of stitches. I can be a lot faster now because I know I'm not going to get any creases in the side. So I'm on the padding, and again come round again, make sure it's a 90-degree angle. And there we go. I'll go around and put up all the stitching later on, ladies and gents, so let's have a look, make sure I'm in shot there. Yeah, I've just sewn it down across there, all the way down. And again, this part here, this is what is going to be stitched to the back of the Bergen. So all I'm going to do now, 25mm down the bottom. An easiest way to do that, ladies and gents, I normally do it by eye. Just literally draw a little chalk line down there, so when you're going to put your 25mm webbing on, oh sorry, right, so the next part, ladies and gents, this is the end part, that's going to be sewn to the back of the Bergen. And to make this one look like that one, I'm literally going to get my steel rule, place it down there along the strap, and literally with a chalk line just draw a chalk line down there and down there, then put the two together, translate over all the cut marks, or the sew marks, sorry, let's just get it in there. The strap will be on, I'll take the marks all the way across, so both are exactly the same. And how far you want these apart is up to yourself, bearing in mind I've got space to go under there for a sternum strap as well. So once I've done that, I'll let you see me sewing the webbing on. This is a 25mm buckle. I've sewn it normal there, but it's going to have a lot of increased pressure pulling it backwards. So what I've done is sewed a little square and then crisscross, rather like a Union flag on there, because once that's on there, there's going to be another piece of strapping coming over and pulling this backwards. So that's again, so on that tip there, that's why you'll see at the last one there, that's where that buckle will be, and I'm going to do the Union Jack behind it as well, which will be there. Right, okie dokies. Wasn't hard, and try and be as accurate as you can here, because it does slip a little bit underneath the machine, and if you're accurate here, it will probably more chance of it coming out somewhat decent on the other side. Bearing in mind, ladies and gents, I've never made shoulder straps before, and I've never made a Bergen, and this may be the last one I make as well. Right, ladies, if you're not, ladies and gents, not worked with this webbing before, when you cut it, it's polypropylene webbing, just to seal it up, get your lighter, and make sure you wet these two fingers beforehand, yeah? So they're nice and wet. Then you run your lighter up and down it, and that will just seal it, yeah? And again, wet fingers so it don't burn you, and that will stop that from fraying. And then we go the other side, so melt it. Yeah, take the wet fingers, remember that bit, yeah? Otherwise it hurts. And now all I'm going to do is, I'll spare you the boringness of that, sew that down there on the crisscross lines, making sure I've got my buckles and my D-rings in where I need them, ladies and gents. And it's just going to be me sewing up and down them lines, okay? I'm sure you can work that out to do it yourself without having to watch me shove it through the machine, which is boring. Right, ladies and gents, I've marked up where I want my straps to go, but I'll bring you back just for a few little hints and tips if you've never done it before. You see between here and here, that's the length of the sewing machine. I've got a long strap there to make it easy, so I only have to concentrate getting it straight here, because that will catch up and that. Fold it over, put a little elastic band around it so it goes through smoothly. Just a little tip for you, it will make a difference. And as we can see here, that's where my head's going to go, my neck's going to go, and that's the line I'm going to sew the two different pouches over. And when I've got all that done, I'll bring you back. Right, ladies and gents, a little bit later in the day, bringing you back. So here we can see underneath here, that bit of this piece of material here, non-padded, it's already gone on the padding, has been sewn in what I call a Union Jack. You decide how wide you want it for your neck. I've gone a third and a third, and I've stuck it over and been back just to make sure. Last thing you want is like your neck rubbing against these. And then obviously just to tie it all in, and it's proper solid. I'm proper impressed with this. 50mm webbing, and that is army. It comes off an army load bearing strap. I just sewn that down there just to reinforce that, as you can see. Also, you can see this buckle here and that buckle here. I'll put some more of this 25mm webbing through there, and then it will go through there, which is a ladder lock buckle, and there'll be a piece of strapping kind of pulling that up and back, as you see on most Bergens. Right, ladies and gents, I'm going to turn it round and do some work on the inside next. But there you go, wasn't too hard to do. Obviously you will need some sort of industrial type machine to do that, because you're going through padding and lots of layers of material and nylon. But yep, that's another little phase finished. What I will do, right, is now start to think. I'm not going to do it today, but what sort of webbing belt I'm going to have on there. One that's sewn on there and a pad in the middle. Just not quite decided on what I'm going to do with that. So I've got lots more work I can be doing on the Bergen, but just going to hang fire on that and get my brain ticking over. And when I do that, it hurts. Right, ladies and gents, sorting out the bottom back strap now, or the waist strap. what I've done is sewed a bit more of this nylon mesh material on, sewed it on, down there, left that side open, shoved another bit of roll mat on there, okay, so that's going to give me an extra bit of padding on the back, and hopefully a little bit of an air space in there as well. And then once I've got it all in, I just sewed it up, so now that's a triple pad on there now. And what I am going to be doing is this is not the actual one, but sewing some strap on there with a buckle and a corresponding buckle on the other side to go around my waist. I'm going to keep it as a simple 50mm webbing going round with a click lock buckle at the top. So that at the moment kind of ends the back of the Bergen, the straps and the lumbar strap, or should I say the waist strap there. That will be sewn on later on, and all I've done there is from there to there, as you can see, probably showing up because I white chalked it, just did a sew line down there just to make sure it's all kept nicely in place. Again, bring back in a sec, against part, just a little recap. Obviously sewed it on, and went over with a piece of 50mm belt webbing there just to make that really tough. I'll tell you what, nothing is coming out of that sucker unless you've got a Cheatham tank to pull it. As we see, they'll both fold over like that. I've sewed the two buckles on, and between there and there's going to be 25mm straps that will just pull it backwards a little bit. I'm sure you've all seen them on other Bergens. Good bit of kit, don't forget to do them because they do make a difference to the comfortableness and taking the ease off your actual collarbones on that one. And like I say, left that on just because it's easier to have a piece to cut off when I know exactly how tall the Bergen's going to be. And there's always a few millimetres here or there. Right, ladies and gents, so I've done a bit of work there today. I've done the back of the Bergen. As we discussed earlier, I've now gone firm on what I'm going to do for the waist strap. Again, that webbing and the buckle will be sewn on at another time. Right, so I'm going to turn this over now and then bring it back. Here we now see the inside of the Bergen. I did it this brown material just to save on the beige stuff. So you're looking at the inside of the Bergen, straps are down there on the outside of that, ladies and gents. So that's more than enough padding, I'm happy with that. But I thought, why not? I've sewed a piece of Velcro down there. Okay, that's roughly the line of the height of the Bergen. But again, I've left myself some over, as we've already talked about. So I sewed a bit of Velcro down here, and here we see it's IPK material. There is a further piece of roll mat in there, not the military one, just a normal civvy one, so it's a little bit lighter. And I thought, why not? When you're making a Bergen yourself, I've got Velcro, corresponding Velcro here, and that'll just go on. So, do you know, ladies and gents, I don't think I could ask for more padding. And if you wanted more padding and you haven't got a machine that will go through the layers of padding, think about doing that improvised way of doing some padding. Okay, that'll come on and off and you're thinking, not really sure why he wants the padding there, but I'm going to bring it back. And again, as we can see, it's near enough goes to the bottom of the Bergen. That's where the extra padding is, so I've done it there. But once all my kit inside the Bergen will be in a bag there, okay, separate bag, so I can pull the bag away, undo that, take that up, and what we're looking at, yeah, it's my seat, it's me little portable seat. So 2-for-1 special offer, no reason why you wouldn't want that in there. So if at times, rather than me getting a cold bottom and so forth, I could always just reach down, pull that in and pull it out the Bergen. No dramas on that, and I think that's a good idea. And like I say, you can't do nothing to SAS Fantastic or Ramir's with a Bergen, but if you are building one, just build it with your own ideas in it, based upon, well, common sense. Keep it easy, because that's always good. And yeah, just do it how you want to do it. That's the only other reason for actually spending all the time to make one, rather than just saving up your pennies and buying one. Anyway, ladies and gents, there's a couple of bits I want to do tonight. I'll show you them on the next part of this video. Hope you've enjoyed it, and obviously expecting everybody to read this. If you're not making a burger, then I'm sure everybody's not going to sit through it. But other than that, ladies and gents, thank you very much for watching. Take care.